Have a listen to the former staff governor at the Tavistock Clinic. He's a trained psychologist talking about what was going on there and the harm that it causes. It says everything that you just iterated there.
The main concerns were issues to do with lack of consent. That many of the people who spoke to me did not think the children were able to consent to the treatment. Then there were concerns of children being inappropriately pushed through to transition, whereas they had a lot of complex problems that really needed thinking about. The whole attitude of what's called affirmation instead of neutrality and inquiry caused considerable damage to the capacity of the service and clinicians to take on the full complexities of the cases they were dealing with. As a result, children have been very seriously damaged.
And so because of that review, they've now arrived at the place, as we've described, where puberty blockers are banned for children. Great to be a child in the UK. You wouldn't want to be an Australian child right now. We're an international outlier. We had the South Australian government say no to an inquiry into what's going on with gender affirmation. Pauline Hanson couldn't get an inquiry up in the federal Senate. Moira Deeming could not get an inquiry up in the Victorian Parliament. So while other nations are recognising we've got a big problem with this gender affirmation treatment, Australia seems willfully ignorant.
Can I just quickly add that clip you just showed of Dr. David Bell was back in 2021.
Yeah.
The whistle was first blown on Tavistock in 2020. So while we can rejoice that this decision has finally been made, it's taken a god-awful long time, Caleb.
Yeah.
Correct, which is where I was about to go, because you've got an investigation currently being done into the gender clinics up in Queensland, which was pushed for by people working within the system for a very long time, and those who pushed for it were suspended from their jobs and have not been given their jobs back. I've interviewed one of the women involved. Now, they finally got that review that was very quietly introduced. It wasn't reported for months afterwards until it had begun, because no one had actually been told it was going on. We are so far behind the 8 ball on this stuff in Australia. If they're waking up on it over in the UK, and we know, as you said, that Tavistock, the process to shut Tavistock down started years ago. Now they've banned puberty blockers, but here we continually deny that there is any kind of problem. And I know in my case, we talk about detransitioning, right, which is the greatest risk here, particularly with puberty blockers, because you're stopping the literal physical developments of your body.
Yeah.
So if you're a girl, you're stopping breasts from growing. If you're a boy, you're stopping the ability to grow facial hair and all the other changes that come with puberty, right? There were 2 kids I went to school with, and they were actually a couple at the time. And one was going from boy to girl, and the other was going from girl to boy. And at least one of them I know of has stopped transitioning since leaving school. So it's not an uncommon thing. And they're on hormone treatment, whatever. So once you get on puberty blockers, you are taking away the opportunity to sort of detransition yourself, as it were. If you're on a hormone therapy that is, allowing you to grow facial hair, you can stop doing that. But if you're stopping the actual process of puberty, that changes your body for life. And if you do that at 12, 13, and you're a biological girl, and then you decide at 19 that actually I am a girl, I don't think I'm a man anymore, you've lost your opportunity to ever have kids.
Yeah.
We are robbing children of so much opportunity in life for an ideology that the rest of the world has woken up to, and we're just still blindly following it.
Well, the irony today is, as this news came out, in the New South Wales Parliament, Chris Minns was introducing anti-gay conversion laws, which of course will make it illegal to oppose gender affirmation. You've got to agree with someone's gender identity, and you can't argue that maybe, they should reconsider that. So it's an incredible irony. While overseas they're recognising we really need to hit pause on this and recognise gender affirmation is not the way to go. You've got to consider it a holistic approach, that there could be mental health issues, there could be background issues of how they're growing up, the environment they're in. New South Wales, here, we're pushing ahead. Gender affirmation is the only thing you're allowed to do.
And what makes this idea of banning conversion therapy so just, I would say, evil is notice it's only one way.
Yeah.
They're allowed to convert your kids. And when I say they, I mean people in the education system who push this. I'm talking about TikTok videos, all the influences that kids are exposed to these days, all the movies, all the cartoons that they watch, which we regularly do exposés on here on Sky News, being like, this is what kids are being exposed to. It's okay to convert your kid into being confused about their gender. It's okay for your kid to be told, oh, you need to wrestle with this, you know, your gender identity, you need to figure it out. But it's not okay then to try and help a gender confused kid maybe come back to accepting themselves in the sex that they were born with, which is the sex that they'll die with, whether they like it or not. That's not okay. So you can convert them one way, but God help you if you try to convert them the other way.